Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Daisy Diaries. Today, I am joined by the lovely, amazing Amanda Steele.
Hi.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Great. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you so much for coming. I was so excited to have Amanda here because I'm just very inspired by you as a friend, as just someone who looks up to you. If you didn't know, Amanda is a trendsetter, okay? Like your outfits, just everything. So we're just gonna just jump into conversation and just quickly talk about just everything that's been going on in your life. How was your week? How are you feeling today? How are you mentally? Just kind of give us a little rundown.
Okay. Well, thank you
Yeah.
for the intro. My week has been consumed with the Steel relaunch.
I'm so excited about that.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Like I feel like I had a breakthrough. I feel like I had a breakthrough this week where I got to really like dive into my creativity
Uh-huh.
and like work on something that I'm obviously really passionate about. And I've felt, I guess, since having the baby,
Yeah.
like kind of little lost and like, okay, now what do I do?
Yeah.
And now that things are in motion with Steel, I'm just like so excited and I'm like really confident in it too.
I love that. So, for those that don't know, Amanda is a mommy now. How old is Gaia now?
Guys, 10 months.
Oh my gosh, she's about to be one
Yeah.
already. It
So you'll
feels,
have to come to the birthday party.
oh my God, I'm so excited. It feels like you just gave birth not too long ago,
I know,
but it
same.
feels like forever at the same time. So, I think one of my biggest fears is to give birth, to have a baby, just because it's such a huge drastic change. Like literally you're now having to take care of another human being, and I think it's beautiful, but it's so terrifying. And I remember I love watching your content, like now that it's like it almost makes me excited for motherhood because it like gives me a little bit more insight. But I remember you saying that like you prepared for your birth and you took all these vitamins and everything, but it's still like, were you what was your birthing experience like? Because were you rushed or anything, or did you have a C-section? Was it natural?
I had an emergency C-section and it was extremely traumatizing. She was born on her due date, so
Okay.
I was full term, nothing like had gone wrong. I wasn't induced. I basically like the week leading up to the birth, I was feeling really not good. I thought my water had broke for like just like trickled, like sometimes it just is a little bit. So I go to the hospital and they're like, nope, send me home. And then like 2 days later, I'm just in excruciating pain. I'm like, have to go to the hospital. And then they're like, well, you're not progressing, like you're not dilating anymore. So they sent me home. And I remember being so like panicked. Like I just knew, like I felt like it was so wrong that they were
Yeah.
sending me home. And then it was like the next day or so that I got the pain again. And I was like, they sent me home and I told myself as soon as it feels unbearable, I'm going back.
Yeah.
But I knew this one was like actual labor because it would go like in waves, like the pain would come and then it would
Like
go down.
contractions almost?
Yes, so it goes high and then it like will completely stop. It'll be like completely fine and then you'll be like in excruciating pain.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so then I went in and I was like epidural right away. Like that obviously was the worst pain of my life. And I don't know what was going on. I think maybe because they sent me home so many times.
And they weren't like taking care of the issue like right
Yeah,
then and there?
I think what happened kind of aligns with the fact that if they had like checked me for like my water being broken, but
Yeah.
they said it wasn't, but it actually was, that can cause like an infection.
So your
So
water was broken?
we literally don't have answers. Like I've just been recovering from like the trauma of that and then learning to become a mom and everything. So I
That's a
haven't
lot.
haven't yet been able to like go back and like really question everything a
Like
lot.
dissect exactly like what
Yeah.
happened and like
But yeah, heart rate was dropping and then they started rushing me to C-section and they were like, okay, just kidding. Like it came back, it's fine. And then a second time it happened again, and this was for real. And I'm freaking out also during this time, the epidural wasn't working enough for me. Like, I could feel like my legs and stuff, and I just thought I was supposed to take it all away.
Away.
So I remember being panicked of like when they're pushing me to the operating room that I'm like, okay, are they gonna give me more medicine now?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna cut me open. Like, I know this. And does not seem like they had done anything. I got myself onto the operating table. It just like happened
What?
immediately. I felt everything.
You were awake during while they were cutting you and everything, and they didn't give you any more medication? Can't you like sue them for that or anything? Like, I just think that like sounds absolutely horrifying.
Yeah. There's a lot, but like I said, like I've just been like trying to
Trying to take
adjust
it,
to my
yeah.
life and someday I'll get to that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel like, and because you're having to not only deal with all the trauma, like you literally at that split second that guy was out, and like now you're a mom, and that's like your main focus.
Well, the thing is that she when she did come out, she was not breathing. So there was no like, oh, here's your baby,
I just got the chills. Oh
like
my God. So then what happened?
even when you have a C-section, they'll put the baby like on you, on your face or something, to do that skin to skin, but that was not a possibility. Also, since I felt like everything, I was screaming. And so the doctor at some point like says to the anesthesiologist, "Can you put her out?" And I remember saying like, "Please put me out." Like I could not take it.
Oh my God.
And then when she came out, I was like, I didn't,
Get to like
I
connect
didn't
with
know
her.
if I was really a mom.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That sounds very heartbreaking. So then when they knocked you out, then you woke up, like what happened next?
I woke up and like my doctor was there, my mom, they were like, she's in the NICU with
Yeah.
Francisco, her dad. And the doctor, like the neurologist, like basically explains like this is what happened. She didn't have oxygen to her brain, so she's doing this treatment. And I'm all like loopy and stuff. Like I don't
Yeah.
even know what's going on really. And I remember being like, oh, like does that mean she's gonna like have
Yeah.
special needs,
Yeah.
And they say, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. Did you at any point think that like you weren't gonna make it or she wasn't gonna make it? Like, did that cross your mind?
I think a lot of what my experience was like was based off of how much trust I had in
And
the
like the doctors and like
yeah
the people around
in
you.
doctors. So I feel like I trusted that I was gonna be okay.
Yeah.
I knew that what they were doing was normal.
Yeah.
It was just the fact that I could like feel it. That felt like I was dying, but I knew I wasn't literally going to die
Yeah.
because
They
it
weren't gonna let
happens.
that happen. Oh
Yeah.
my God, that just sounds insane. I feel like that's something, and I kind of look at it in a way of like men are never going to be able to experience that, and they just like, oh, she gave birth and that's it, but they don't ever really see like the pain and the way that the body actually changes. I think the craziest thing is how the women's body's organs literally shift to make space. What do you feel like is the biggest like change like physically that you have seen like in your body?
I gained so much weight when I was pregnant, and I'd got my boobs done right
I
before
was
I
just
got
about to say
pregnant.
that I
Yeah.
remember you had just gotten your boobs done. Did that like hurt or change or like anything? Do you feel like
Well, that it played a part in why I feel like I also didn't know I was pregnant because I was like, oh,
because
I
you
just got my boobs done.
yeah.
Like but I was kind of upset. I was like, why? My boob job was not supposed to be this big.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was like that. And then they just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so there was just like it was like going from completely flat to like a
Really
double
big.
D within like 6 months.
How did you find out that you were pregnant?
I was I was on a shoot for my brand,
Yeah.
and I was modeling, and I remember the week leading up I was like working out so much and I was eating healthy, and I'm just like getting so emotional, feeling like I look so ugly and my body looks bad. I'm like, I look so bloated, like why am I looking like this?
Yeah.
Like I've been doing everything right. And I think when Francisco had come back to the shoot,
Yeah.
his friend was the one that was shooting me. His friend had told him, said, I think she's pregnant. Like, she's been emotional and thinking
Oh
she
my
looks
God,
bad.
he
And
like knew?
yeah. And then so I was like, ugh. And I've taken so many pregnancy tests like
Yeah.
over months before
Yeah.
this. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to order one
You
pregnancy
postmated
test.
it? I've done
Yeah.
that.
And I didn't even take it right away. I was just like, I'll just get to it, you know, because I'm like, I'm going to be disappointed again, or, you know, it's not going to be what's actually going on
Yeah.
with me. And then,
What
yeah,
was your reaction like? Were you like scared or were you happy? Like,
I was definitely, it's actually hard to explain. I can explain my reaction. I remember like calling for him and being
yeah.
like, come here. And it was like because I was excited,
Yeah.
you know, like I was excited, but I was also terrified.
Yeah.
And I was also shocked. I was like, this is not real. And I almost felt like I can't believe that I'm going to be showing him this positive
Yeah.
pregnancy test. And so I literally like I'm just like shaking and I'm like about to laugh. Like that's like how I was gonna
Yeah.
respond. And I was just like, just come in here. And then he saw it and then I immediately went to like go lay down, like and process everything.
Well, now we have here beautiful Kaya. She's
Gaia
so cute.
girl.
Gaia girl.
Gaia's here with us today.
She has the coolest mom and auntie ever. Um, do you feel like your friend group has changed ever since being a mom? Or like the role that you play in your friends now? Like, what does that kind of look like now?
I've always had like a small group of
Yeah.
people, like always.
Yeah.
It's not like anything crazy transformation wise in that. I definitely have noticed like the way that some people that I considered like my friends or like close enough, how little like they had reached out or maybe,
It's kind of like, oh, she's a mom now. Like, let's not even invite her. Or
well,
like,
I think some people they don't understand, so they don't know how
yeah.
to like talk to me about stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's like, yeah, those people that like I just saw just didn't care to like
To like be there.
be like even just continue like our friendship the way that it was once I was pregnant. I was like not hurt because that's just obviously someone
Yeah.
that I don't
Need
need
in your
in my
life.
life.
Yeah.
But it's changed in that way, and the fact that the people that I surround myself with on a day to day, like it's so deep and it's so hard like to be a mom and
Yeah.
a lot that people our age like around here don't know.
Yeah.
So having my closest friends and the people that I hang out with be people that I truly trust and can confide in and are supportive.
Yeah.
That's I guess how it's changed more.
I can see both sides because, like, when my friends get pregnant, I don't know what is okay and what's not. And I guess it's just communication, you know? I think, like, you're still the same person at the end of the day. It's just now that there's another human being in the picture. But I think it's so beautiful that you're a young mom because you are literally going to get to grow up with her. And I'm honestly terrified that I'm going to get pregnant at like 30 and I'm going to be like a super old mom. But
No. My mom had me at 35.
oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me feel better. I feel like maybe one thing that I feel a lot of pressure on is to like rush to start a family or like anything. But I'm still single. So I'm just kind of like, I gotta find a boyfriend first before I even think about having kids.
I mean, what a setup for that question, but I guess I would say to that, not necessarily.
Yeah.
I think that, especially because, you know, we are the women, we are the ones carrying the baby, we're the ones that are going to be mostly responsible for the baby.
Yeah.
That relationship is most important. So it's when you're ready,
Ready.
and you can decide like when you're ready. It is though important to consider the partner that you do have a
Yeah.
kid with, because it could be like a relationship is good on its own, but then
It completely
it
changes.
can change everything, and you just truly like need so much support and empathy and understanding and help and
In a partner.
in a partner for sure. And even like my friends. So that's why relationships have changed too, because I feel like I'm just so needy. Like before I'd be like, oh, come over, let's get ready, let's go out, let's do this, fun, fun, fun. Where
Yeah.
now it's like, oh, I'm just going through the worst thing ever right now, or like I'm so emotional, I'm losing my mind. People that you're not that close to might be like,
Not.
oh, that's kind of just a bad vibe to be around. So
Oh, I get that.
you need people that love you no matter what and understand that like you're going through
Yeah.
a big time
Yeah.
and you just need that support.
I feel like even with like for example when I used to deal with depression a lot, and when I was going through like those phases, it definitely shows you who really is there and who isn't. And it would almost make me feel guilty for reaching out and like being needy, and it sucked and it made me feel very rejected and not loved. But then I also had to understand, like you said, like then those people are not meant to be in your life. But going back to the partner thing, I think that's another thing that I'm even scared of, because it's like having a kid with somebody like you guys are together for like, not together, but like you guys are connected through a baby for the rest of your life, and it's like that's something that you won't be able to change.
Yeah, and you know, even though like because I'm no longer with Gaia's father, I can separate myself from him in that
Mm-hmm.
relationship, and you know, I know that he will be somewhat a part of my life for the like rest of my life.
Yeah.
But because I'm an adult, I can have my boundaries and distance and stuff. Whereas for your child,
Yeah.
that's their, you know, if we're talking about partners, so like that's
Yeah.
their father.
Yeah.
So thinking deeply about that, like that's the most important thing. Less of, oh, I'm gonna be with stuck with them forever. It's like literally
Yeah.
your child is stuck with that person
Person.
forever.
Yeah. So now that we're talking about partners, so you're single right now? Are you dating, or are you kind of like just focusing on yourself? What's your love life looking like right now?
I'm I wouldn't say I'm dating.
Okay.
I'm like I would be down, but
Like if a guy comes and he's like, "Can I take you on a date?" You would be open to it.
that actually is the thing where right now where I'm at, you know, I'll let a guy take me on a date. Like
Yeah.
I haven't yet, but like yeah, if you want to take me on a date, sure. And
Mm-hmm.
then that way I can like really, you know, sit down, assess. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna be acting in the way that I used to, where I
Okay.
just be like, oh, that person's cute. Like I want to talk to them. Like let's hang out. Let's do this.
Mm.
Like oh, I want him. You know, like I'm
Yeah.
just down to see like who wants to treat me nice
Who
because
wants to pursue you, and like what do you feel like what do you look for now? Like moving forward, because now you're a mom, and I feel like maybe your perspectives have changed, and now guy is in the picture. What qualities are you looking for in your next partner, would you say?
I would say someone that has a clear like path of their goals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I'm not someone that I'm like, oh, they have to be super established and have a lot of money or whatever, but just to know that they have a future that they're like committed to
Mm-hmm.
is important
Yeah.
because I'm happy to support people, you know, along their journey and reaching their goals like I am too.
Yeah.
So definitely someone that like knows what they want to do with their lives.
Yeah.
I
Someone that brings and adds to your table. I think something that I had to learn is like us as like we have our careers, and we're established, and we're financially stable, and we're very thankful for that. I think what we look for in a partner is somebody that can not only add to the table, but like we can build together. Maybe I've had in the past where like I've had people take away from the table, and I'm just kind of like, I've reached a level in my life where I'm just so at peace that I'm like, I would want somebody to not disturb my peace at all. Like just add to the table, but don't move anything around, and like let's focus on that.
Yeah, I think my perspective is different in the way that now I don't care about what anyone thinks about me, like if they like
Good.
me or
Good.
not. I'm full and like I have my true love, which is
Yeah.
Gaia.
Yeah.
So they'd have to be really offering like a
A lot.
lot. But I guess it's just at the same time, from being a single mom and always prioritizing someone else and always taking care of someone else and doing it alone is very, very hard. So I would definitely be looking for someone that wants to like take care of me a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, what in whatever way that means, but
Yeah.
just I would want someone to make me feel like,
You're taken care of
yeah, you know,
and
like
you're
I don't
loved.
have to be in charge. And I was happy to be like in charge in relationships before, which I always will be because it's just like who I am.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm not gonna be dating just a fun, hot
Yeah. You want
guy.
you need like a very masculine man who's gonna come and protect and provide and just let you be a woman and be feminine and be submissive and just be Gaia's mom. I know you'll find it. You'll find it eventually. So I'm looking for that too because I'm like
Yeah.
fuck. I think the main thing that I look for in a relationship is just to feel protected. I feel like a lot of the men in my life have failed me and it's made me a little bit I don't trust men, and I know that I can't like blame like my father or like anybody like that. But I think the main thing that I look for in a man is like to feel protected and to feel safe. And I think that's something I feel like every woman kind of just
Yeah,
wants that in a partner. It's just to feel safe.
definitely. That was something that was hard, thinking about splitting from my partner with having a child because all of a sudden like now we're just two girls. Like as
Yeah.
vulnerable as I am as just a woman alone,
Yeah.
whether that's living alone, you know, traveling, doing anything alone, now I'm like
Now you have
10
another.
times more vulnerable. So yeah, and also like you said that I mean needing like a masculine man so I can be feminine, that's something I think really is important to me because I have to be Gaia's mom and dad, and I have seen how I am in relationships that push me so much into the masculine
The
side,
masculine side, yeah.
and I don't like it. Like I love being a strong, powerful woman, but I don't like being a man. I don't like being the
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, same. It almost takes away from our femininity. Like, but I feel like because you're so independent and like I'm independent as well, and we love being boss bitches. It does suck though because in a relationship we want to kind of put that wall down and just be submissive and feminine. But I can't imagine you having to balance both being the dad and the mom and just being single and young and in LA and having your career and filming content. I feel like if I were to become a mom, I wouldn't even want to do content because I'd just be so overwhelmed. So I admire that you're literally just able to do so many things, so many
Thanks.
things. How are you mentally right now?
I'm doing well.
Okay.
You know, I'm in therapy.
Well, that's nice. I just started therapy again as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
for the first time.
No, I resumed it.
Okay,
Yeah, I
good.
had stopped for 2 years, but I was like, maybe I should go back. I love therapy. I think it's
Yeah.
everybody
I
should
feel
kind
like
of look into
everyone
it.
should be
Yeah.
doing therapy. It helped me a lot. I've learned a lot of tools to cope, and I've been diving more into like
I
spirituality.
love
Yeah,
that.
I love it too. And just really thinking about like what like my purpose is and what my passions are, and you know, knowing like things about my astrology chart, like life path number, like stuff like that that
I love that.
helps tell me who I am and
Yeah.
like feel secure in these things that are just a part of me.
Yeah.
Really just like diving deep into myself and being strong. But it's definitely been a long process, going through like postpartum emotions and stuff, and then also like a really, really hard relationship that
Yeah.
I was in and got out of. And it's just like there's still things every day that,
Yeah. It's like a challenge every day. Every day is different.
yeah, but I'm now very much like excited for the future.
I love that.
I think before I was just so much more overwhelmed where I'm like, how am I going to survive?
Yeah.
How am I going to do this, this, and that? Because like it's a lot to take care of a baby,
Yeah.
work, be the only one providing. Definitely not a lot of time to like do everything you need to do.
Yeah. In spirituality, what I've learned is like it's a bad day, not a bad life. And just reminding myself of that really keeps me grounded. And also, I think back then I used to always just focus on like the negative or like my emotions and how I was feeling. And now just being more grateful and just remembering that we literally only have one life kind of just helps me kind of get out of that rut. I feel like even at times, like life can be very good and then I'll end up like spiraling. And it's just always a
I
challenge.
swear it's like the stars, you know? Like
Yeah.
there's just like times where it's good and it's bad. Like there was just a Leo full moon.
Oh yeah, there was a Leo full
And it
moon.
was like the best weekend. Like when the full
Really?
moon happened, it was the best weekend ever for me.
It was the worst weekend for me
Yeah.
because
Okay.
I was feeling everything so intense. It does affect signs differently and everything. And you're a Leo. I'm sure you were thriving for sure.
Yeah.
Do you know what your rising and your moon is?
Capricorn moon and Sagittarius rising.
I'm a Sagittarius rising as well.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, love.
Your Capricorn moon. Oh my gosh. I feel like you would definitely win in all arguments. You're like, you don't let anyone talk down on you.
Yeah.
Well, I love that. What's Gaia's zodiac sign?
Pisces.
Oh my gosh, she's a Pisces, little dreamer baby.
I know. I didn't know any Pisces like ever. Like I was never
Honestly, I don't
close.
really know a lot of Pisces either.
Right? Like
Yeah.
I've been looking so much at like CoStar app and then like looking at all of our friends and stuff and I'm like we're all like Leos, Scorpios or Libras.
Oh yeah, isn't it so crazy that me and your sister have the same birthday? We
Yeah.
have the same birthday.
What's your moon?
I'm a Libra, rising Sag, moon in Cancer. Yeah, I think that is so. I've never met anyone. Well, actually, I hooked up with this guy and we had the same birthday, and that was like such a mind fuck. It was so weird. And I was like, I have a friend who also has the same birthday. He's like, wow. And he was so weird. But you were saying that you're relaunching Steel, which I love. What has the process been like? I saw that you parted ways with the partners that you were with. Do you have new partners? You're doing it on your own now. What has that been like? How long has it taken? Like, what do you feel like is going to be different now?
So I left my partners because I just was not happy with how things were going and we had a 50-50 ownership of the brand. So I didn't get enough say in it. And I just finally felt like I think I can do this on my own. Then I got pregnant and it just wasn't like possible for me to do it all.
Timing, yeah.
And we also had to look to find like new options. And so I found this team of girls in Australia that there's a designer and then a girl that does the production.
Love.
So I'm working with them right now. And then I think just as we go, we're going to be like outsourcing like
Yeah.
other things to make everything happen. I also have these investors that had just like invested into like my personal like social channels and Steel as well.
I love
So
that.
yeah, but it's a much smaller budget
Okay.
that I'm working with for this relaunch than the initial launch. But I feel like I just feel so good about it because
Really? I love that.
I think just the way that like I have changed so much and there's been this break from Steel, I feel like it's just gonna come back and it's gonna just emulate
Like a
me,
rebirth.
yeah,
Like just
me,
like
but also
just a new chapter and
yeah.
like just I love that your creative outlet is fashion. I love your outfits. Even the outfit right now.
Thanks.
I feel so basic right now.
No, I love the jacket and I literally have been like saving so many jackets like that because we're making a leather jacket and I'm just trying to
Oh, I
put
love.
everything together.
What do you feel like is your favorite thing about like the clothing designing process or just like in general? What's your favorite part about it?
I realize that I really like what I find out about myself and I used to just be like, oh, I can't draw, you know, like I don't actually sew and I don't actually draw, so I guess I'm not really a designer. I always talked kind of down on myself in that way until now, since I'm working with people overseas, like we don't have time to just be in person, like
Yeah.
discussing all these details. So I'm now going into my closet and taking pieces and doing so much research, and I'm pinning and tailoring stuff to send to them. And then I'm like, this is designing.
Yeah,
Like you're doing this from
you're
your brain.
creative. Yeah, you're I feel like even if you don't have the skills though, the creativity behind it is an art in itself. Um, just even showing your expressing yourself through fashion. I think it's just such a cool thing, and you're literally a trendsetter. You've been a trendsetter
Thanks.
for the longest. I just saw the TikTok you posted
Yeah.
with what was it was a commercial, wasn't it?
It was
And it
like,
was
it
like
can
don't
wait.
text and drive.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my God, you
I
were
know
a
when I saw
baby."
that, I was like, oh, and I saw in for 2024, like maybe it's like either Leo or the Sagittarius placement, something about like the transit. It hasn't been in this spot since 2012. So whatever
Oh,
you were like involved in and
at
focused
that
on
time
at
it's
that
like,
time, it's going to be happening in 2024. And so I go and I look back, I'm like, good thing I have all of my videos, like my whole
wow,
entire
to like
life.
look back at it.
Yeah, and I looked, and during that time was when I was like the most excited about creating, and I was putting out the most stuff. I think that was the time frame that really like built
That
me
like
to like
catapulted
finally
it.
launch at some point. So I'm excited to like try to channel that energy
Again.
into
I love how
2024.
excited you are. I just like you glow when you talk about these things. So you have been on social media for how many years now? Like on like creating content.
14.
That's
Well, what about you?
insane. Um, since 2017. You were like 20.
2010.
Holy crap. And it's in like you're still here, like you still been able to. I love how your content has progressed with your life. I started off on YouTube, but if I'm being really honest, I just kind of fell out of love with it. And I think I've always been the type to be like, if I don't love it anymore, if I'm forcing myself to do it, then I just rather not do it. Um, and I'm just kind of, then I wanted to venture into other things. And I tried to do the wine, but with that, the beverage industry is so hard if you don't have investors. So all the money that I was putting in, I was barely making back. And then because of the partners, it wasn't really working out. And I was just kind of like, okay, I'm no longer passionate about the wine. So I was like, let me just not do it. But because we only have one life, I'm like, I want to try whatever I like put my mind to. And if it doesn't work out, then it's fine. It's not the end of the world. I think I used to always think like, if I don't succeed in the wine, then I'm a failure. But now I just kind of look at it and I was like, that was fun. I loved it for the time that it happened. Like, what's next?
It's a learning experience.
Definitely a learning
So you
experience.
don't have to like ever think like that was a failure. It's like you got to learn how that process goes and apply it to any future
Yeah.
endeavors.
I think now something that I'm so passionate and that I love is the foundation that I have right now, just philanthropy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like that brings me a lot of joy. Not so much YouTube anymore, which sucks. I'm still going to be on social media, but I feel like as I grow older, and I don't know. I mean, maybe it's like the internet can be so cruel at times. And because you grew up, I remember, because being in LA, you get to club at a very young age. And like I remember when I first started clubbing and like it was coming out, it was like such a big deal because I didn't even used to like cuss or like flick off the camera. Like I was very like clean on social media, and then I was like being rebellious, and it was like such a big deal. But because the internet can be so cruel, and I feel like at some point I even kind of like closed off, and I'm like, I don't want to share so much because once you share a lot, like the internet feels so entitled to know every single little detail. So how have you been able to deal with that side of the internet throughout all these years? Or you just
I
don't?
remember during that time, like 2017-ish, when I like moved out of my house, was really like living in LA. I remember finding it important for myself to not involve social media or my phone at all when I was in person at any social event.
Yeah.
Just because my whole entire life was online. And also playing with that too is you don't want to be weird, you know, when a lot of people have like followers and stuff, like
Yeah.
you don't want to just have your phone out all the
Yeah.
time. So that was something that was really good for me. And then after a while, I was like, I'm living this whole other life
Yeah.
that is so different
Yeah.
than what I do online. And I really love having the two
Like,
be one. Like,
really?
I like my life is public. I think maybe because I'm a Leo,
Yeah.
I'm open. I like to share.
Yeah.
It's just something that feels comfortable to me. I've done it forever.
Yeah.
I am really, I guess I don't have a lot of like really close friends or people that I feel like I can be super open with, but I always used YouTube
As
and that
like your
audience
outlet.
as my outlet. So no matter what, I will always go back to that and always will make me feel better.
I
The
love
hate,
that.
I was just looking back when I was looking at my old videos, like
Yeah.
the comments, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've been getting the same hate like forever.
Years.
But I guess I just know, like, I'm not gonna like put anything messy online, like purposefully,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And I guess I just understand like what I think is worth putting out there and
Yeah.
what's not.
Yeah. And I didn't start as young as you, but I remember in the beginning, like when I would get like a bunch of backlash, it would literally dictate my entire day and I would get so depressed. And now, like you said, I've just reached a level, I've just reached a point in my life where I'm like, I just don't care anymore what people think about me. Like as long as my family's healthy and my family loves me and my loved ones are good, like that's literally all that matters. I also, do you ever take social media breaks? Because I don't, and I think I need to.
I need to so bad, but this is my issue right now. Like I'm severely addicted right now because of what I've just been through. So I would be so tired. Like finally Gaia's sleep trained, so she sleeps through the night and life is more normal. But before I'd be up every 2, 3 hours and just life was just so overwhelming for me that if I got a chance to be alone, I would be like, I'm scrolling for however long I'm allowed to or I can. Like, I don't care. I need this. I want to turn my brain off.
Yeah.
And so that's become like a habit where I just immediately like scroll, distract, whatever. And then now I'm realizing like, I don't have these excuses anymore to like,
To do that.
to do
But
that.
now you're like just doing it because it's a habit.
Yeah. So I need to be more mindful of my social media usage because it's terrible. Like,
TikTok has literally like I can stay on TikTok for hours, literally. And my attention span has become so small because of TikTok.
and sometimes like the algorithm will change to something that like I'm not even liking what I'm seeing. Like
Yeah.
the stuff that's popping up in the for you, I'm like this is not hitting because like maybe that hits for a different time of the
Yeah.
day. Or you know, like
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling a bunch of stuff that I'm not really interested in and I feel like it's so terrible for your brain because
It is.
even if I'm taking in information, like I'm learning something from TikTok, that's just like still catered towards me. Like it's the algorithm is so insane, so I can't even really trust that what I'm learning
Yeah.
is it just, you know, facts based off of my interests
Yeah.
or is it real?
I feel like even somebody said this the other day. They were like, Instagram almost feels like a dating profile now. And I was like, I never thought about it that, but I was like, that is so true. Like you literally can just find someone on Instagram and like that's what you based off of like.
Yeah, I heard that too cuz I guess I'd kind of thought of like maybe like going back on Raya or something.
I didn't like Raya.
I never, yeah, I never got anything out of Raya, but like say like Hinge, I just like being a mom, being a new mom, I don't feel too comfortable just be like being on Hinge with like
Yeah.
so many people.
What's Hinge? Is Hinge just like a dating app or is it like a
Yeah.
okay.
But it has more like prompts and it's a little bit more like quirky and you know more about their personality.
Oh,
and
okay.
It's not like Raya that's just like on here for famous hot
Yeah.
people.
I did not see any famous hot people.
Honestly, me either.
I was like, what is this?
I'm like not aligned with my type. I think that dating apps are just not for me.
Yeah, I mean, I've tried them out. I'm not closed off to them, but I every single like person that I've dated, has been through like meeting them in person and stuff. I feel like I just like that connection better.
I just think my energy like does not translate, which is interesting because I'm my whole life
Your
is
whole life's on
online.
social media.
But I don't know, just like being like, "Oh, this is what I look like. So if you like what I look like, then we can talk."
Yeah,
And then this is what I have to, like if you're just basing it off of like
social
just
media.
what I look like, then
It's very
you
surface
might be
level.
confused by my personality or
Yeah,
something.
that is true. Yeah, no, I don't think I could date like just based off of social media. I think I would definitely need to meet someone in person.
I feel like I could, or I guess I noticed when I was on dating apps in the past,
Yeah.
I might, I'm only liking people that I like how they look. And then you speak to them and you're like,
Uh,
you're not my type at all. So
yeah.
you just miss out on all the people that you probably are like super compatible with and would get along so well with just
Yeah.
because you're looking through a catalog of being like, nope, yes, nope, yes.
Um, Going back to you growing up um on social media, what do you feel like has been like the biggest lesson that you have learned from growing up on social media?
That's a big one.
Yeah, it's a big one. I just thought about it right now too, and I'm like, I don't even know what my biggest lesson would be. I think my biggest lesson would probably be just to not take things personal. I used to take everything that everyone would say personal, or like if somebody didn't, or if somebody like unfollowed me, I'd be like, why did they unfollow me? But now I'm just like, it's just social media. Like it's not that big of a deal, and I shouldn't take it personal. I think that's probably my biggest lesson that I learned.
I think mine would be like the saying of people's opinions of you are as a reflection of themselves.
Yes.
That kind of thing, I've learned a lot
Mm-hmm.
just by being like, this has nothing to do with me. Like, this
Yeah.
is all you, and being able to separate that. So I really like that I learned that. But like more on the business, like success side of
Mm-hmm.
it, I guess biggest lesson would be to just never stop. Like obviously stop if you're like uninspired and it's not
Mm-hmm.
making you happy. Like I
Mm-hmm.
do that too with
Mm-hmm.
YouTube. Like I'll be like, this is just not it for me right
Mm-hmm.
now. But there's times where like you're following a path and you're doing your thing, and then maybe someone new pops up, or there's new creators and they're doing something way different, and now, oh, is that the new thing that you do?
Yeah.
And so you might think, okay, so what I do doesn't matter anymore, or
And
I
then
need to
you
change
kind
it
of,
to go that
mm-hmm.
way. And it's everything has like always come back around.
Yeah.
So learning that just stay on your path and stick,
Stay true to
yes,
yourself.
stay true to it is so important.
One of my goals for 2024 was to work on my sobriety because I feel like I always needed to like drink at social events or like because of having a wine company and stuff like that. I would like have wine like Thursday, Friday, or like Sundays. But just like I quit nicotine cold turkey, I thought it was going to be easy to quit drinking, and literally it's so hard. It's so hard. I had I already folded. I had some drinks yesterday. But I think maybe if I like slowly like stop drinking versus me just trying to quit cold turkey, maybe that'll help. But that's like one of my
Yeah.
goals.
For me right now, I am stuck in this thing where I've made like wine
Uh-huh.
a part of my routine.
Really?
So
But I
I'm
love
like,
that.
I'm no, but I mean, like, I'm not, I
Like
don't necessarily need to drink a glass of wine,
yeah.
but it's just like, after you do something every day, like I have to do strict bath bedtime routine with Gaia every day,
Yeah.
every night. So, once it becomes like this time, or like once she's put down, or like once the nanny leaves, like to me, my brain goes, okay, now
Now
it's
you
like
can.
time for a glass of wine.
But I love that though, because it's kind of like your reward. I remember when we would be out getting ready, we literally would just be taking shots and then chaser. Another shot and chaser. Oh my gosh,
You're crazy.
I love, how long have we been knowing each other for?
Since like
I think since like
2018.
2018. Yeah, that's crazy. You know what moment replays in my head all the time? I will never forget this. We were all in Miami. This was like all of our friend group was there, and we're about to get on a yacht. And here you see Amanda walking down, and she's dressed like she's about to go on a fashion show. And Banks looks at you, And he's like, Amanda, this is not a fashion show. And then you're like walking, you put your glasses down, you're like, it is to me or something. And I love that moment. And we were all on the yacht and you're like, just all fashion. It was just cool. But I love the memories that we've been able to make. We have some really
I
fun
feel
memories.
like the years like leading up to my pregnancy is when we were the closest.
Yeah. I would come over all the time. I mean, I'm still here. You know, you have a friend in me, and I know that I moved. I'm honestly very glad that I moved though, because I feel you have your sister here, and your parents live here as well, do they?
An hour away.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. I feel like I'm just so my priority now is my family, and so now that moving back to Dallas, like it really helped me out mentally. I don't think I would ever move back to LA. I don't want to say never, but being back in Texas, definitely there's nothing to do in Texas. It's flat. There's nothing to do there. And I was like, there's no way I'm raising my kid in Texas. So I don't know if I would raise my kid here, but that's something else that I've just like thought about.
It's funny because I had started getting ideas of, at least my day-to-day life so far since having Gaia is that I stay inside the house all
Yeah.
day. I work from inside the house. Also, I just am like, I like my house. I would
Yeah.
always have people over at my house, and
Your parties were iconic. You literally were having so many parties at some point. We're like, everyone's going to Amanda's. It like became a thing at some
I
point.
know I'll just like see people that are like, oh, Amanda, like, oh, I know your sister or something. Like, I don't recognize these people. And they were like, I've actually been to your house. I'm like, I'm sure. I'm sure.
You know what's the most iconic thing? Your restroom with the wallpaper.
Yeah.
Everybody, like when people would post selfies there, I'm like, oh, they're at Amanda's house. Iconic. I love it.
Yeah. Now it's converted, the whole dining room
I saw.
converted to Guy's playroom, covered the floor, toys everywhere.
I love that. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, we used to play a lot of games there. That was fun. Oh,
Yeah.
do you still have, what was his name? Your dog's name?
Leo.
Leo. You still have him? How is he?
He's great. It was very hard for him with the baby.
Really?
Yeah, because it kind of went from me being pregnant, like anticipating the baby. Like I just had so much like love and like free time that I was giving him extra attention.
Yeah.
And then the baby came, and then it's all of a sudden like, no, you can't jump up on the bed. You can't go up here. You can't do this. You got to stay away.
Dang, that's
Just because
something that like people don't think about. I never thought about
it
that.
takes time to like have them understand the boundaries. So I also like I'm like my job right now, taking care of this baby.
Yeah.
That's what my job is right now.
Yeah.
Of course Leo's also my baby, but
Yeah.
during this time I also had other people around me that
Yeah.
helped. But now he loves her. Like he is
Aw, I
so
love that.
protective, and they love each other, and I'm like, just wait, Leo, I'm sorry that you got like
Aw.
this attention taken from you, but soon she'll be like his best friend. Like
Yeah.
she'll play with him all the time.
Yeah.
Just right now he just gets too excited, and so he'll like run like really fast and
He
stuff,
like knocks her over.
yeah, and that's
Aw.
he never would like ever bite her.
Mm-hmm.
Like she will pull his hair crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and he will just lick her. But it's just when he gets too excited and he
Yeah.
knocks her over.
Yeah. Oh, baby Leo. Well, we're getting close to the end of the podcast. I guess my last question is, what are you looking forward to in 2024 besides relaunching Steel?
I'm looking forward to Gaia's growth.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, she's about to start walking. She's about to turn
oh
1.
my gosh.
And it's just going to be, it just, honestly, every month, every even week, there's something new and exciting with her.
Yeah.
And I think by, this time next year, she'll be talking to me, like,
oh my God.
legit.
You're so right.
And that's going to be insane. But I'm right now thinking, like, please don't grow up anymore. Before, when she was really little, I was like, okay, we can,
Like,
we can get a little bit older, like, so you can interact with me a little bit more. But now she's at this age where I'm like, stop it right
Oh
now.
my gosh. Well, I'm excited to just witness everything and just to be a part of your journey. And I'm very thankful for our friendship. And I'm thankful
Thanks, me
for
too.
you. And I love you so much. And thank you so much for
I
coming on
love
here. Oh
you.
shit, sorry. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening. And I will talk to you guys next Thursday. Bye, guys.